what, I'm gonna give it 10 years, and wherever I'm at the end of that 10 year, I'm moving on to something different because I know that I have a bigger purpose. Fast forward 10 years, I came into the interview and I expressed that. So what I did was I told myself I'm gonna bet on myself. You know, I had so many people that told me that I was making the worst decision ever leaving the United States Postal Service, but they didn't see the vision. I saw the vision because what I did was I write everything down, okay? I write everything down and I try to make sure I check off everything of what I'm gonna do. So when I end up getting into the business, I think on the front row, then I sat on the back row, and so I started paying attention to the numbers, and I started seeing how everybody was winning, and I started seeing these huge numbers, and I started thinking to myself, you know what? Why can't we be up there? Is it possible? So I started asking my DSC questions. Like, hey, Jason, how can I get up there? I said, how can our name get up there? He started telling me, started giving me some good information. You know, just keep working, you know, keep learning the business, keep going back home practicing, keep learning, you keep sharpening your craft, and you will get there. You know, you get some of these small accounts, and eventually they're gonna lead up to the big accounts. I said, okay, I marked that down. Next thing I started marking down, every week when you guys come up here and you guys are leading, I start clapping because what I started doing is I start sewing into it. I said, you know what? Every time somebody up in our region get a new account, I'm gonna say, you know what, congratulations, good job, I'm rooting for you, because I know that eventually the more I sow into it, it's gonna eventually come back my way. And then I started listening to Mr. Kelly as well. When he had the game, what he was doing is expanding our business. He was saying, you know what, I understand we comfortable going to the small accounts, let's do something bigger. And so I started thinking, you know what, maybe this actually can work. So one day, this was a few weeks ago, me and Jason was out at an account, and it was a new hire. We just showed up to be able to try to, you know, hopefully to be able to sign a new hire up, and unfortunately we didn't. But what we did was, one thing we do a great job is, even though we didn't enroll a new hire, we start prospecting around. And so we'll go into different businesses, you know, smiling and all that, and they, you know, they'll say yay or nay. Next thing you know, we got to the part where it's like, you know what, it's kind of getting a little late, so how about we just, you know, get together tomorrow? I said, okay. So he got ready to take me back to my vehicle, and while we was on the way back to the vehicle, we looked to the right, and we seen this one little business that we didn't know nothing about, so we had turned down the street, and luckily enough, we turned into the street, and the actual big account was a plumbing business. Now you would think that this business is not this big if you see the business, but when we walked in, we ran right into the decision maker, who was the owner. And we looked up on, like, she had like this big old wall, and we started counting how many employees. And she said they had over 60 employees. And then the conversation sparked from there. And as you guys can see, that conversation led to us going back and doing a presentation with her and her husband, both the owners, and then turn around and did a presentation to the actual employees, and it all started from there. And I would just want to kind of give you guys some encouraging words, because I don't have all the answers. I'm gonna be honest, I do not have all the answers to this. But one thing I do have what I always say, some HGD, okay? And H, it stands for heart. I do have heart. And sometimes we got to actually look at ourselves in the mirror and ask us how serious we are about this business. How serious is it? What do we want to get out of this business? What are we willing to do to get there? If we're willing to do the certain things to get there, then we will get there. And some of the small things, as in, you know, write down your weekly goals. You know, write down on, you know, how many prospects that you need to get. Write down how many calls that you need to do. Write these things down and just ask yourself, am I willing to put in the work to get there? You know, hold yourself accountability. Because when you hold yourself accountable, you know, you gotta show some heart. And that's also, you know, you have your discipline up in there, and you'll find out where your will is. So again, that's what the H stands for, it's heart. The G, it stands for grit. You gotta have some grit, because we always know that this is a process. Now every week we're not gonna have like a big account. One week you know, it might be rough on us. We might get all the no's, but that's okay. That means that you still are trying. So sometimes you gotta have some grit. And I wanna give you something real quick. Some of the quotes that I love to read to myself. It says, grit is a combination of passion and perseverance for a long-term goal. That is true. That is what our business is. That is our business one-on-one. This is a long-term goal for us. This is a long-term. Renee talks about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning, it's gonna be tough, especially for us new associates. It's gonna be tough at the beginning, but we gotta persevere because we got an end goal. The next one I love to read to myself. Grit is about working on something that you care about so much that you're willing to stay loyal to it. That you gotta be willing to stay loyal to it. And like I said, I carry that. I read that to myself every day in order to keep me going. And lastly, not least, is the D, is determination. And determination is what I call, it actually sparks that transforms our challenges into our victories. When you have that determination, especially, and you will know, everything is not gonna be easy. But it feels a lot better knowing that you was able to endure the process, and then once you see it, once you get that account, once you enroll it, it does something to you. I told Jason this. I said, man, this big enrollment kind of got me addicted now. Now I'm ready for the next one now, because it is. I see it's possible, you know. And I want you guys to know that yes, I was able to do that 31,000, but I had a lot of help, and the help came from you guys. I didn't do this on my own. The help came from you guys because I got motivated. I said, man, I want our regions to be up there as well. I told Kyra this. I said, hey, I'm just trying to play my part. I'm just trying to make sure that Texas North know who we are. This ain't a George thing. This is a us thing. So if I win, we all win. And I really carry that. And I'm gonna say this, I can keep on going on and on, but I got one thing I want you guys to take with you. And it is true. It's called, it said, talent times effort equals skills. But skills times effort equals achievement. And that's a quote by Angela Duckworth. Thank you guys, all right?